Today I'm going to give you a really quick overview of why I chose a Flex theme to build my new Shopify store, and also look at a couple of the other themes I considered and why I decided that they weren't quite right for me, but why they might be right for you. We'll also look at the Dawn theme, which is the free one, and again why I decided to go to a paid theme instead. Hope it's helpful. Okay, so what we have here is my website that I've just finished building. As I said, I use Shopify. Shopify is not normally the theme that people use for sort of a consulting service, but I decided because I'm working with retailers, I really wanted to keep engaged with what Shopify was doing, and I still think it's a really helpful tool for selling anything, and I am selling services on there, so I decided to stick with Shopify. It's also something I know I'm not a tech person, I'm not an IT, I don't know how to code, so I have to work at the sort of the easy to grasp end of creating a website. So what I've done here is I've got loaded the original Dawn free theme and then two other themes, Empire and Handmade, that I had a look at, just to explain to you why I decided not to go with them, but what's also great about them, and then the Flex theme that I did choose and why I went with this option. So first of all, theme to Dawn, let's just go into here. It's fine to begin with, but just remember, if you decide to go with a free theme and then you grow it all, you may have to rebuild your website because your theme just doesn't have enough robustness to allow for growth. So that's why I feel that having a theme that's designed for slightly more products or for more flexibility in your pages and so forth is a great way to go. The main reason I went off Dawn straight away was, first of all, the typography. I didn't like, in this case, in the fonts, we have a header font and we have a body font, and that's it. When you see the other themes, you'll see that there's far more option that you have with your fonts. And I like to have a little bit more flexibility with creating some headings within my information, as well as the text in different formats. The other thing that I found a little bit limiting was the colors. So they work with color schemes in blocks like this. So you can change the colors of each of these, and then you can bring any of these edited schemes into your document, into the particular blocks that you're working with. But I just find it easier to have them all together in sort of set up all at once. And then if you want to change individual blocks, you can play around with them. But let's just quickly go so you can see. If we go down to one of the blocks that's here, so these are just, I've left a few, show how they look. This multi-column block here. So if we stick with this document and go down to our color scheme here, we can edit the actual color scheme that's in this block, or we can change the color scheme that's being used. So if we change it, it's now changed the button color as an example. If I had different colors for my text, then it would change that as well. So Dawn is fine. It's a lot of people use it. Great to play around with, but remember, anything you do within these sort of schemes, so all your color themes, your typography you put in, all of that type of content, if you put any images in at this point into this section of the website build, if you change themes, you have to re-enter that. So what will stay if you change themes is the content in the pages and menus, but a lot of the other information is changed and will need to be re-entered. So let's just go on to one of the two other themes that I had a look at. Oops, I know down here. So we'll go in here and we'll just have a look. So as I said, this theme, it's on theme trial, which means I could download it, I could play with it, see if it worked for me. I haven't had to pay for it, and I won't have to pay for it unless I make it live on my website, which I've chosen not to do. So I can either delete it off here or leave it if I'm still, toying with the idea of using it down the track. So if I go to customize, so this particular theme, the main reason I ended up not going with this theme is because I'm not doing an e-commerce site. I didn't like this very large search bar at the top. Now for e-commerce, I actually think that could be really useful. So for my site, it wasn't suitable, but I actually quite like it as an option sitting up there if you've got clients looking for search. And I used to have a search bar that I would had up in my website that's set up nice and front and center for my clients. What I do love about this particular theme is that it has some, so as I said, it's Empire. I'll give you the price on this as well so you've got the details. It has this nice block here. Let me just go, it might be easier to show you the blocks. If I go down to add a new block, add a new section, and we'll look at it this way. So obviously blog posts, they've nearly all got that. Collections listing, so that's a nice way you can list your collections. You can change how many collections you've got on each line, which is great. Countdown timer is fabulous if you've got a sale coming. So really good again for e-commerce. If you're wanting to launch something new coming onto the site, I think that's very, very useful. I don't ever look at custom HTML. Custom liquid, I don't do either. Frequently asked questions, I thought this was great with the drop-down options on your frequently asked questions here. Featured collections, again, let's just go in so you can see how this works. So if we add a featured collection down here, it's now showing you can have the number of products. You can change that down to 2. You can have that up to 6. So it goes across a couple of lines, even 8, so that you've got it all lined up nicely there for a desktop. Then you can change the button style, so you can have the secondary style of button or primary. I have not obviously changed that. The primary might be a solid button like we've got here, and the secondary more of an open style button, which is really handy as well. Then you can choose a grid format or slide show for mobile, or you can set the same thing up. So in this case, if it's for your desktop, it would have a slideshow, so it just swirls across the page, which gives you lots of flexibility there. Just go back and see what else they've got here. Featured product, a lot of sort of the themes now have a featured product, which is really handy, but and then we've got a grid of, so you can add images and additional information if you want on there. Highlight banner, so again, some icons here with some simple information about who you are. You could say you're family run, how quickly you get your orders out, whatever it is that you want to give as a little base point form set of information for your clients. Image with text, so again you can highlight a selection or a collection or a individual product on there, or you can then go with the overlay where you can create a larger image, which is what I've got on the homepage. I'll show you in a moment. Logo list is great for listing any of your it might be your brands that you're selling or where you've been seen. So you've got mosaic there, which allows you to put multiple images together to create a really nice scene of products or a few products from a collection all together. Newsletter sign up, the page itself, page age gate, which is pretty common now, so that you can have over 18 if you need to. Rich text, where you can add specific text obviously to your page. Search, which we've got up the top. Shoppable image is another one I think is a great option for e-commerce stores. So you can have a beautiful image on there and you can have links to multiple products in that image. I think that's really, really handy, and a reason this Empire theme I think is another reason it's got some winners in it for e-commerce stores. Slideshow with more images that you can share, testimonials, which is great, and your video content that you can add. So that means you can cover lots of information. So if we go back up here, I just want to go up to the mosaic here. All right, so just to make it a little easy, this mosaic has got 4 images in it. I've just put any images in. You can see on this image here that it's hard to read the writing on there, so it also allows you to have an overlay and you can adjust the strength of color on that. So you can also do that depending on what particular image you're using. You could have, you know, 2 of the images with an overlay. So let's take that one as well. Oops. This one I have added the button to it as well, so you could see. So let's just go into the actual box here. So if I want that writing to stand out better than that, I come down to the layer, to the overlay, and I can darken that off, and then the button that shows on there as well. So the mosaic is another tool in this empire. I think it's got some real benefit. So definitely for e-commerce, I would say this is one that's well worth having a look at. All right, next, let's just save what we've done. These are not published. My main website is published, so you can play with as many themes as you want in the background. But remember, what you do in one theme is not going to be seen in another, so you don't want to waste too much time on it. Then let's have a look at this handmade theme and the reason that I pulled this one up. So again, a lot of these themes paid have the announcement bars at the top, which is fabulous as well. I liked, in fact, it's easier if I show you again. I'm going to go straight down to the sections here so you can see them. So you've got your feature section here, so it's got some movement in the header if you want to have that. Rich text, so it's got a nice big header that you can use on that one. Image with text overlay, image with text underneath it, slideshow. The multi-column is great. That's one thing the Flex doesn't actually have going for it, so I do like having column options. Again, collapsible content I think is really handy for your frequently asked questions and information like that. Nice looking newsletter sign up and contact us form, video option that you can add. Blog posts, again, blog posts are pretty standard across all of the themes. This is another one before and after, so you might have seen on websites where they actually have an image and you can move your cursor from left to right and you can see what it looked like before and what it looks like after. Really handy tool again for e-commerce. I think that's one that's well worth considering as something that could be a good tool depending on what kind of products you sell. Collections list, some of these headers I felt were a little bit big and sort of cumbersome for what I was looking for me, so that's why I didn't go with it. The one I did like though, in particular, and one of the reasons for the download, is I like it when they have some different sections like these image cards where you can see they're just not all lined up. It's got a little bit of style to it and clearly different to just your free themes that you've got. And if we go down to this one, ordered list, so it's easier to see it on here than it is on my website, but you can put an image in if you've got information that makes sense. You might have the point form of, for example, if you've got a makeup line or a skincare line, step 1 you cleanse, step 2 you use this serum, step 3 you use this moisturizer. So something like that could be a really useful tool where you can set them up in this theme without you having to do any special coding. Everything we do here, we're trying to avoid special coding because it is going to be a little more expensive and also potentially slows down the site depending on what you need to have done. Popular products, and then you can add testimonials on there as well, and again video on there. And just so you can see the difference again, so your colors, this one has your buttons, so your button settings already, text, heading, and secondary header color, their background, so you can set whether you want the light, the different tones, or dark background colors when you're creating your content, and other sections. So there's some really nice layout there for your colors. And then when you look at your fonts on here, if we got the heading, so we've got a heading that has various different heights depending on which heading level you're using. And you use these also when you're putting content in the page within Shopify itself rather than within the theme. And then you've got the card, different areas that you can look at here. Description font, body font, what else have we got here? Button font. So again, just giving you more options in how you set up your fonts, whether you want your header to have all caps, for example, and you don't have to think about it because it's set up that way. And then you have your menu in a standard font, or you want that to be in a special font different to everything else so it stands out a bit more. So it gives you some good flexibility there. So Handmade is this other theme, which again I think has got some really great pluses to it and something to think about when you're looking for your themes. These themes are around $200-300. I think they're US prices as well, are well worth considering, but I love that you can play with them first and you're not having to buy them, and then you can decide if they're right. So now let's go on to the theme that I actually did go with, which is the Flex theme. I have gone with this theme because I used it in the past. So my old store was built in Flex as well. I did actually look originally at Turbo in the out of the Sandbox theme range and decided it wasn't right for me. So it was an easy process. I had downloaded it, paid for it, and then I said I don't actually like it. They just refunded the money straight away, no problems. It was in the 14 days, and then I bought the Flex theme instead. So let's have a look at what you can customize here and why I think it's a great option. First of all, again, if we look at our colors here, you've got all your sort of logical text, the links, so all your text can be the same throughout your website. Your headers, what colors you're going to use for your headers. You can change some of the section header colors as well if you want to. Logo text, drop down menu, what you want to do there, how you want your links to show up, footer, colors, and then even all the product stickers that you might have. So if something's in your products, a bestseller coming soon, if you've got any of those implemented on your site, then you can change the colors for those as well. And then the typography is excellent because you can set your body text, and then you can set the so this is the same font, but I'm using the light version of it for the main menu. I've made it a little bit larger. You can adjust the size. So if, let's say we want the main menu to come down in size, you can see that that just lowered that down. I'm just going to go back to where it was. You can also adjust the letter spacing. So I've got a little bit more space between the letters here as well. So you can use that or ignore it. You can also set this to be uppercase, lowercase, or just as you type it. Then you've got within your drop down menu, if we go to here to the drop down menu, you've got a header, you've got the main font. So you've got your heading information there, the main information there, and then your links if you want to on there as well. So you can set your different bits of detail that you want to in that. So the header is slightly larger, and then the font for the content is standard size. Again, you can see I'm sort of using the same font but different thicknesses that I've got already set up, so I don't have to think about it when I come to working different pages of the site. And then headings, you can make a fancy font as well. So if we go in here and go to the home page, so this is a header font that's on this line here. It means I can create content in there without having to add it as an image, and that means it will work better when it's resizing for mobiles or for iPads, which is really handy as well. So it just adjust. Oh, I can't adjust it because the screen's going to play up. But so that's really handy, being able to do it all in there rather than using images. And then we've got base subheadings, all sorts of options that you can set. Now you don't have to set all of those if you don't want to. Then oops, let's go up to mobile. So you've got some general information that you can set up on your mobile, and then you can adjust for sections there as well with the mobile, which is great, including your logo header, which I should have in there. I should have the header listed in the mobile. I think it helps for even for speed. Layout, I don't think there's, oh yeah, showing the announcement bar, show a pop-up, or you can use an app for that as well. And then the header, you can choose different headers. So if we just have a quick look here, the centered header should, there we go. Okay, so now it's moved the logo to the middle. Classic, I think, was what we were on. Yep. Search focus, which is what I used to have for my old site. So I liked having the search bar up the top in this theme for an e-commerce site, and vertical I'm not even going to do. It runs down the side, but it will play up and change everything. Now we just go back to where we were. Classic. So you can also set up in here, I like the way, let's go to the actual settings here, text columns with icons. So you can create, this icon is just the tick here, so I can have 3 columns that I run. I can have actually up to 4, I think, columns in here, set the information that I want. So it just means, let's have a look at it on the page here. Just gives you some nice styling to your page very easily. This, again, another block, very simple block here where you've just got the image on the left and the content on the right. And at the moment I've got a very simple footer going on down there. Just having a quick look at the different sections in here to see if there's anything else to specifically point out to you. So you can have your collections focused on there, which is great as well. I've used a number of contact forms in the setup. Divider is another one which seems so simple, but I actually have used during the build of this site. Simply adding a line to add space between sections is great as well. Again, frequently asked questions, which I haven't even set up yet on the website, so I'll get that going there. Featured collections, so you can add a number of collections that you might want to list all on the homepage. Featured products and featured promotions. Now, why can't I get a preview? Featured promotions is you could promote events in the store. Doesn't have to be a particular product base. Gallery, which again you can add lots of photos to the site if you want to. Grid allows you to add an image and add text underneath, so you can have information, as I said, if you want to have special events that are in the store, or why you love a particular group of products or anything like that, you can have that in the grid. The headings is a section, as I said, because of your different fonts, you can create really lovely sections out of the headings. So when we go into the website, as I mentioned, these are all heading sections that I've created here with a review and a simple quote in there. What else have we got here? Image with text, you can have 2 or 1 photo in here with the text overlay. Sorry, with the text to the left or the right hand side, whichever side you want it to be, and then image with text overlay, get that right. You can either have all your information appearing on the image as they're showing here, or as I've used it in this here, you can have it just as a heading image, so that's not got a link to it. So Shopify is my favorite go-to for e-commerce. I find that, as I said, I'm familiar with computers. I've worked with computers pretty much nearly all my life, so I am comfortable playing around with them, but I am not a tech person. I have no idea what coding is about. So I find it usable enough for me to build the website myself, but otherwise you can go to a web designer and they can do it for you. But you might want to think about what theme you want to use first to limit the build times. So if you've got a theme that's got a few more bells and whistles in it, it might make the whole process easier. In the past, I've made the mistake of actually having my web designer build a whole lot of content and code things up, because I wasn't aware that there were easier ways to do it. And sometimes you've just got to look at what you can do differently so that you can actually create the website as cost effectively as possible, but still make it as user friendly as possible. I'll be sharing lots of different content on how to use Shopify, how to use Canva, how to use Klaviyo, and some of the other tools that I use and have found so useful in e-commerce in creating your content and also marketing to your clients and managing all your content and your contact details and so forth. So they will be shared. Make sure you follow us if you're interested in any of that information. For now, that's it. Have a sensational day, and thanks again. Bye.